Trinity of Sin, Pandora, number 7, written by Ray Fox, art by Francis Portella and Staz Johnson. Last time was the Constantine issue where we argued with God for a little bit, and this is Forever Evil Blight. We argued with God for a little bit, and now we're ready to fight. Everything's all set to go. So we're in the House of Mystery, and we get our roll down of characters where Pandora is the one describing each of them, saying like, oh, they've got all of these flaws to them. They're all these dark souls, more or less. And then Jake comes to her and she tries to define herself, and she's like, I don't know what the hell I am. But Constantine's the one reading out the role that they're all going to play in the battle, where Stranger is fighting Blight directly, Nightmare Nurse is doing psychic shields, Swamp Thing is making sure that nobody gets out too far and causing disruptions, and then Deadman and Zoriel are front lines. And then he sends Pandora out to the front line as well, because she's an immortal, and she can just handle that. But this entire time that she's talking, she's kind of lost in her own thoughts, and she's like, yeah, when I talked to God last issue, the only thing that I heard was one word, or one phrase, what are you? And I don't know. I have no idea what I am. And she says to all these lights and stuff, she's like, oh, I was an innocent scapegoat. I was a cursed wanderer. I've seen so much cool stuff, but I'm still not wise. I don't know what I am now. And as everyone starts marching out, Nightmare Nurse is like, hey, you cool, Pandora? We really need you on your A game here. And the door to the House of Mystery opens up, and like the battle's about to begin, but she's still just zoning off. She's imagining herself in a star field, and she looks out in every direction. She's like, oh, depending on where I look, I can either see so much darkness with just a tiny little light inside, or I can see thousands of stars all clumped together. It's so bright, it's practically blinding. And then she sees a bunch of people, and this is like people on Earth, and she sees firefighters and people caring for homeless people and people like praying for others. And she's like, oh my God, I get it now. All of those people before, yes, they have this dark cloud over them that was Blight, but they also have this light inside of them that encourages them to do good. There's good in humanity, everybody. I just realized that. And so she's coming all this revelation. She realizes like, right. So we collectively as the Justice League Dark are all human, to reasonable disagreements there, and we each have this light inside of us. We've always had it. This is how we defeat Blight, not with more fighting, but with the light inside of us. So the door opens and Blight's just waiting there. They're on the George Washington Bridge in New York, and they just bum rush at each other. So immediately everyone starts putting up their plans, and Constantine's like, well, I don't know if this is going to work, but it's the best chance we got. And as Pandora and Blight crash into each other, there's a giant explosion, to which Constantine's like, Jesus Christ, did we already lose? Was it that fast? But as the smoke clears and everyone gets back up on their feet, they see this big bubble of energy in the middle of the bridge, and inside of it is Pandora with a new outfit where she is now essentially the light version of Blight. And she has this like glow about her, and she's like, I can feel the lights of the world. They're inside of me and around me. I dissolve all of the sins, all of those sins that I spent this entire series and my whole life looking for. They just dissolve in front of me because that's who I am now. And she's continuing to fight against Blight. And she's like, oh my God, I can do this. It's great. And all the lights in the chests of all the rest of the Justice League Dark start lighting up. And it's just like, oh yes, Constantine's love and Nightmare Nurse's compassion and Swamp Thing's kindness and all this other stuff. And immediately Blight's like, oh geez, man, no, I can't be losing this one. So we see all the lights around the world start lighting up. And the rest of the Justice League Dark all come together and contain the Blight and Pandora fight as best they can, so that Pandora can use her power and shed Chris of the Blight persona. It just falls off of him, and she throws him aside, throws him off the bridge, has a gun trained on him, and she's about to pull the trigger, and she's like, no, Blight is no longer there. But if I kill the boy, Blight won't have a host anymore. But like, no, that's not me. I shouldn't kill. That's not what I'm here for. So then Phantom Stranger grabs him out of the air and says like, hey, Chris, I got you. You're cool now. Everything's great. And Constantine running up from the side is like, kill him. What are you doing? We already tried this. He willingly accepted Blight. You need to kill him. And Stranger's like, that's all right. Nobody's going to kill you, Chris. And he's just like, I mean, you shoulda. So then he turns back into Blight again, grabs Phantom Stranger by the throat, and seemingly discorporates him. He just disappears into a blinding explosion. So Pandora rushes back in saying, oh, of course, yeah, no, I should have done something. Because now I'm slightly faltering. I'm not sure if I'm actually able to do this, but you know, now I still have the power behind me. So she flies in, she attacks Blight. They melt through the Washington Bridge down into the water below, and everyone's just kind of looking on like, all right, well, what do we do now? And Constantine's just, or sorry, Constantine's just like, well, I guess we're just gonna have to carry this through. We're just going to have to see what happens there as we see Blight and Pandora down on the ocean floor continuing to battle, I guess. But it looks like Blight has fully impaled Pandora with his, like, fist through her chest. So, doesn't look like it's that good. I don't know how I feel about this one. I mean, it's not a bad issue per se, but, like, it feels like an anime protagonist sort of thing. It feels like, oh, I just realized the power of friendship and love, and that's enough for me to overcome this mess, and now I get my Super Saiyan 3 form, and I'm like, sure. Yeah, you do you, man. Nothing in Pandora's character felt like it was going this way. That it felt like she had a second form if she just realized that everyone had good in them. And, like, I don't know, it just feels so out of place here. And that's the best way I could describe it. It's just kind of out of place. So all in all, I think this is probably one of the weaker issues. Also because, like, goddamn, Phantom Stranger, you've already had your chance. I know you don't want this kid to die, but for the love of Christ, you had your chance. You had to do something there. And you just, second time in a row now, just dropped the ball. So overall, I think this is probably like 6.5. It's not awful. It's still better than like average, but it is just kind of filler, it feels like, in this event. It doesn't feel like they actually really wanted to do anything here. That is to say, maybe Pandora will be the linchpin of all this, especially with her new power set, and maybe this evolution of her character will continue on to be something cool. But what it feels like is like they just needed an extra part here, and it's not really gonna be much of anything.